78 Sports TV here. Salute to the Patreon family. Much love to everybody that's here, been here, and welcome to all of the newcomers. Please spread the word about the Patreon. Anyone with a Patreon request, you can email me at ask78sportstv at yahoo.com. That's ask78sportstv at yahoo.com. Don't be afraid to hit the cash app. All right. I don't know. I might put this on YouTube. I might just keep it on Patreon. I don't know, man. I think I've been giving YouTube too much game anyway, man. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just keep this on Patreon. But young homie hit me up, and young brother says he is 19 years old. He just signed up to the Patreon. Welcome here, brother. Shout out to you. But he said that he lacks information on our history, and he said he's starting to try to do some research, but he has a few questions he wanted to ask me, and he wanted to know, could I give him a brief history? And he said, can I give him a brief history in 10 minutes or less on how the black community in America got into the condition we're in, as far as he says none of his friends' parents are married. He says we have a lot of black on black crime in his community, and it seems like other black people hate other black people. He said he always hearing something negative, and he says he just don't know how it got to this situation. And he says that he always sometimes watch YouTube videos and he sees OGs talk about the good old days of how black people used to interact. He said he hear people talk about stories of the 80s and the 70s and how we used to get along, and we would, we had more of a community. So he wants to know, in my opinion, what happened, and why aren't more of us, why that family structure isn't there anymore. And he say in 10 minutes or less, well, brother, yeah, you definitely 19, because you just asked me to teach you something, but then you're trying to give me a time limit as to how to do it. Yeah, that's definitely some young boy stuff right there. I don't think you think you can't keep up, or your attention span ain't that long. You'll be okay. If you really want to know, then I'll tell you. But I'll try to keep it short for you, though, homie. What you're seeing here on the screen is a picture of a black family in the 1950s or early 60s. This was the typical black family, okay? Good, clean people, took care of their neighborhood, prideful people, raised their children with respect. Black men and black women in the house together, working as a family unit, working as partners back in those days. You know what I mean? This was typical to see a black man and a black woman together. It's said that before the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, black households, 81% of those households had a man and woman living together in that household. And it's said that I think high 60% of them were actually married. Okay, so 81% was mother and father living together, raising a family. But I think in the high 60s they were married. My number could be wrong. It could be higher than that, but I just don't want to give out no false information. But regardless, many of us, our people were together, all right, and living together. And also, before the civil rights bills, you can see here, we had black businesses booming. There were black businesses everywhere in our communities. Because there was segregation, black people were forced to rely upon ourselves as a community. As you can see, this store here says our own community groceries. Now, we had to do that because we had to set up our own businesses, because the society would not employ black men for the most part. You know what I mean? They might hire our women to wash their laundry and wash their kids and be their housekeepers, but they didn't trust us in their homes. So black men were innovative and created our own businesses and educated ourselves on how to do that. And we took care of each other as a community, right? And then as we fought for civil rights, we fought for basic human rights in the 1960s. with the rise of the civil rights era, civil rights movement. Um, you had everybody that incorporated that, right? And what happened then was you had the president signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964, okay, and ended segregation for the most part. From there, you start to see black folks going out and getting into, taking advantage of the situation to where now, black hotels we used to frequent. Now we can't wait to go sleep in the same bed the white folks slept in. Black restaurants, black owned restaurants that have been thriving and booming. They still did okay, but now they were losing a lot of their high end black customers to uh, white or integrated restaurants and things of that nature, and so on and so forth. You get the point. We stopped being so because we stopped being independent. We stopped relying upon ourselves, and as a community, we started to go out now and want to integrate. Okay, and then of course, this bill, the Democratic Party also, because of this bill, convinced everybody that they were angels, and everybody in our community started to vote Democratic and continue to vote Democratic to this day for the most part. They also put in place uh, welfare and these programs that rewarded women for being single. You understand? And punish women for having a man in the household. Okay, so what that did was it sparked this women's movements, women's liberations movements that wasn't started by black women, but black women piggybacked and jumped on the movement with them. They were tricked into joining these movements created by white women who had an issue with their man. You see what I'm saying? So they use our plight, like they always do. They use our plight and to get us onto their movement. Then, of course, they basically hijacked our civil rights movement and turned it into something else, which then led to the sexual revolution. You know what I mean? Where you had, the rise of the Playboy Mansion and the Hugh Hefners of the world and stuff like that. You had the Superfly movies coming out. You had the United States government flooding our communities with dope. And they already took the man out the household, for the most part. The rise of black entrepreneurship was disappearing very rapidly. You know what I mean? And with the rise of the hippie movement and things of that nature, and them forcing the black men out of the household, you start to see more women-led households, more young men and young women being raised without a father figure in the household, a lack of discipline, a lack of respect. And then you had that getting translated over into the community that poured out into the streets. When you got a bunch of kids out there with no discipline, no respect, no fathers in the household, then you're going to have a community in chaos. You know what I mean? But what you are also going to have is a bunch of programmed robots to vote the way you want them to vote. As long as you keep paying the mama, you understand? As long as she feels like she's doing good, she forgot what it was like to have a man in the household taking care of y'all working together to pay the bills. She has gotten totally dependent upon the government being her new man. You understand? So that's what happened to a lot of our communities. Now, a lot of this stuff gets skipped over when you talk about the drugs being put in our communities, the guns being put in our communities, them unaliving all of our leaders and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff gets overlooked. And people call it excuses. Oh, these excuses. No, it's not excuses. It's facts. It's what actually happened. And if you do this to anybody's community, you're going to destroy that community. You understand? And all of our movements being hijacked is still happening to this day. Whenever black folks get upset about something, last time we got real upset and we acted like we was going to do something with George Floyd. And what they do to that situation, they turned the Black Lives Matter movement into something super duper zesty. And, they hijacked that as well. Like, and that stuff is still happening to this day. The feminization of black men, emasculating black men has been going on. That's a whole nother video. That's been going on, right? It's like our women, for the most part, are walking around here full of testosterone, quick to tell you how they don't need a man and this and this and that. And nowadays, you got dudes telling you they don't need no woman. So with that being said, I mean, that's the demise of any community. Once the man and woman can't connect no more, and there's a gender war, and we thinking this woman is my enemy. She thinks I'm her enemy, right? We every day we wake up with some gender war nonsense on our mind. How can we come together to have a community? How can you? You know what I mean? The only ones that's hurting is our babies and our future. Is the only ones that's hurting behind this gender war nonsense of people trying to be right. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, our community was turned on its head. Everything good became bad, and everything bad became good. And I know we say that a lot, that this is happening today, how people have turned this society, have been flipped upside down, where all of the stuff that used to be good is now bad, and all the stuff that's bad they promote is good. Well, that stuff started happening in the 60s. And one by one, slowly and for surely, our community has been on the decline ever since the Civil Rights Bill. Now, you would think that the Civil Rights Bill would have made everything better for us. And it did make some things better for us. But what it did do for us was it took away our independence. It took away our dependency upon each other as a community. You know what I'm saying? Watching each other's kids and making sure that we all were responsible for each other. It took that away, and then made us rely upon a white pacifier. You know what I mean? Afraid to take that pacifier out of our mouth, and afraid to go out there and get something on your own. You know what I mean? We had so much. We had Black Wall Street. We had so much great things we had built on our own. You know what I mean? And I understand the civil rights movement. I know what the people were trying to do, but I think in a lot of ways the civil rights movement, it being hijacked, hurt us in our community a lot. And this is why I say a lot of times I don't care that Donald Trump is in the White House. Like, y'all panicking and all scared. People, oh man, he racist. Oh man, he gonna do this. I don't care. I hope Donald Trump does something that sparks entrepreneurship back into the black community. I hope he does something that we to put us in a situation where we have to depend on each other again, right? Because a lot of y'all today don't even know what racism is. Y'all pretending like racism don't exist no more. Y'all think everything's sweet. You understand? So we need some pressure. We need a fire lit back up under our behind is what we need, because we think it's a game. See what I'm saying? So yes, like I said, in the 60s, once the sexual revolution and all that stuff happened like that, families started to break apart. All right, women start feeling like they don't need men. Right? I'm a woman. I'm strong. I don't need no man. And the government paying me, and they're gonna penalize me if I got a man in the house. Blah blah blah. Right? So they just start using men as walking dildos. They don't really use you to be a leader of the household, to lead them as instructed. You know what I mean? They don't need that no more. Right? So at that point, our community got it was a wrap. It was a wrap. That's why people ain't married all the time like that. Like the marriage numbers dropped drastically from the early 60s. I think it was like I said, maybe like 81%. 81% of black families, there was a man and a woman in the household. Now, by today's standards, I think it's like 30-something% of black households has a man and woman in the house. If those numbers are even correct, but that's what it is. That's what it is now. Morality has been turned on its head, upside down. Family, what's the reward for people to have families? You know what I'm saying? Having a family used to be the epitome of manhood, of womanhood. You know what I mean? It was cool to say, hey, gotta get home to the wife and kids. Oh man, that's what's up. You know what I mean? It was cool for a woman to say, oh, I gotta go make sure my man and my kids got something to eat when they get home. That used to be cool. Now saying a woman saying that will get her smirked at. Oh, you a pick me. Oh, you finna go home and cook. Why can't he cook for himself? Well, maybe because he just worked for 10 hours. Still, you work too. I mean, why he got it? People don't understand roles no more. The man got a role, the woman got a role, and people don't respect it no more. You know what I mean? People used to respect it, but they no longer respect the role of man, the role of woman. Because now, like I said, now they're trying to blur the lines and confuse you on what a man is and what a woman is. Now they're trying to tell you a man is a woman and a woman is a man. You see? So we living in a confused era and time, a confused place and time right now where everything has been turned upside down, man. But like I said, I'll talk more about this. I can get more rough and rugged on my Patreon. I think I'm gonna put this on YouTube because I'll put this on YouTube. I'll get more rough and rugged about this topic on my Patreon where I can get more into detail. But make sure y'all check me out on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/78 Sports TV. Check me out, and I'll holler at y'all in a minute, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the No 304 Show, 78 Sports TV. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Much love to the Patreon family. I'm up out of here. Deuces.